Hey friends, this is Dolynny TV. Good afternoon to you. Glad to have you aboard on a Sunday edition as we get set up to discuss kind of some of the news points floating around Edmonton Oilers land right now. Obviously, there's three main things that remain over top of Jeff Jackson and the Edmonton Oilers organization as we transition officially into the back half of the summer, right? If you look at where the Oilers were, you're now about July 21st, so you're right around that time that the playoffs Stanley Cup final came to an end just over a month ago. So over the next course of the week, we will go from the first half of the off season to the back half of the off season, and the Oilers still need a general manager. They don't. I mean, I guess that's to be honest, they don't, but they want one. And then as well, you've got the situation with Broberg and Holloway and signing them, cap compliancy, Cody Ceci, and then the Draisaitl contract extension, which again is slated for sometime mid to late August, and that depends on the general manager search. So we'll cover all that here in a matter of moments, friends. But before we get there, I encourage you to take this video, take a browse around the channel, take a few minutes, think about hitting that subscribe button here on Dolynny TV. I want to say a big thank you for all those that hit that subscribe button yesterday. We've now pushed up over 16,500 at time of recording, so thank you so much for continuing to make Dolynny TV truly what it is. So friends, what do we know? Well, we know that over the course of this weekend, there's been a lot of buzz around potential candidates when it comes to the Edmonton Oilers general manager search. And when we look at that, you'd think, oh, well, Tyson's got news on who it's going to be. I think a lot of people seem to have their idea, right? I think the most common theory at this point is Mark Hunter as general manager and then Stan Bowman as senior advisor. That seems to be the most congruent kind of, if you look at all the accounts tweeting about the Oilers general manager search, whether it be someone that knows something or somebody that doesn't know something or somebody who's had a scoop before or has never had a scoop, that seems to be the most kind of inline thinking that you can find, which, I mean, at least the saving grace here is the Oilers, if they do hire Stan Bowman, aren't going to put him in the general manager chair. So thankfully, I mean, the Oilers aren't just going to gift him back his old job, but and still I'd like to avoid that mess because obviously all the work that Jeff Jackson has put together, that would be a kind of a big boo-boo on that one to try and just shovel him in there and make it work. But don't really care about who it's truly going to be. That's the big part. I think I stress that enough. Just because it's believed out there among kind of the masses that it's likely to be Hunter and Bowman over the course of the next day or two, I just want to stress what I'm looking at that for, why I'm even talking about it, is the fact that when you start having that much kind of put together thinking, is it means it's close. And I know we've been promised it's close. I think Patrick from the Oilers Fanatic was very keyed in on just do it on Friday. Do it on Friday. Would have been perfect, right? Go into the weekend, got everything solidified. We have lots to talk about on the weekend. That did not happen. So now you're talking about Monday, Tuesday, right? Normal, typical news days for the Oilers. Well, we'll see if that happens, but you've kind of got something put together over the course of this weekend out in the masses on social media talking amongst each other. So I think we'll see news Monday, Tuesday, and that's really the update itself, is when you start seeing things kind of line up. That's when you start timelining, okay, Monday, maybe, Tuesday, likely, right? You can start putting that together. Now, when it comes to the offer sheet portion of this video, I think it is just a simple reminder, right? Similar to what we did with the Leon Draisaitl trade rumors yesterday, is a reminder that just because everybody else is trying to put something on us doesn't mean we have to own it, right? I think that's the best way I can put it for you, is Patrick from the Oilers Fanatic spent the weekend down here with him and Gillis TV. Very simple thinking on this. Why would you leave anywhere for a worse situation when all you need to do is take a small contract, win a Stanley Cup, cap space opens up next year, giddy up, get your contract. And yes, I know we've talked about Philip Broberg potentially signing a bigger deal just simply to kind of get him under the cap and also allow the Oilers to have a little bit more control while they still try to fully understand what Philip Broberg will be at the pro level. Dylan Holloway, I don't know what he's going to ultimately end up doing here, but I believe he 100% has a spot in the lineup on the third line. I know a lot of people are probably amped to put back together Janmark, Henrique, and Brown, but you got to remember again, we've done that year after year with playoff third lines. It was Fogle, McLeod, and Ryan in last year's playoffs or year before, where we're like, oh, that line was incredible. They need to play more time together, and then they really didn't. So I'd assume for the Oilers there is some kind of plan to put together this lineup, and it would include Dylan Holloway. It would include Philip Broberg. So again, whatever it takes to do it, you've still got Cody Ceci that you can kind of turf for cap compliancy. And then as well, you've also got Evander Kane's LTIR status kind of hanging over you. And I mean, no matter what Evander Kane chooses to do to heal up, it'll be kind of a situation where I doubt he's ready to go to start the season anyway. So you kind of have to put two and two together, and that's another tool the Oilers have in their chest to kind of make that happen. So that's the offer sheets portion, obviously. And then the Leon Draisaitl contract, again, it's just based on seeing all the thinking out there amongst anybody, who's everybody, who's anywhere. Simply, it is a good question, I guess, and this is what I'm putting to you. I try at the end of every video to kind of propose a question, something to engage in the comments more so than just sounding off about what you feel today. But it is a question of, I guess, if you can get Leon Draisaitl under the cap for a bit cheaper by signing him to a 4, 5, 6 year deal instead of a max 8, is that something the Oilers should look at or are willing to do? Because then right now you get the McDavid extension before Draisaitl's contract's up again. You have your window for the next how many ever years, and then bang, you can sign Draisaitl to a lot bigger money if everything continues to grow the way it should over the course of the next several years. So that's kind of a line of thinking that I want kind of put out here on the channel, as opposed to just on X or on Instagram or wherever. Is just I want to ask more so to the people that make Dolynny TV what it is, as opposed to just random thinking on Twitter, I guess you could say. Because I think we've got a pretty dynamic situation here with the Draisaitl extension. When it comes to, there's many ways to do it, many right ways to do it, many wrong ways to do it, and really, no matter what, it is going to be spendy. But can you get it less spendy? Can you get it more spendy? Can you get, what are you going to do to kind of secure Draisaitl for that window in which we are trying to win? I don't think the window closes just because Connor and Leon turned 35. I'll tell you that much, right? Look at Sidney Crosby at this point, into the back half of his 30s. I think he was 36 this year. Let me do the math. Yeah, 36 this year, and putting up still MVP type seasons in terms of his Pittsburgh Penguins teammates. So again, keep in mind that when you got elite players like this, they don't slow down typically like other guys do. So looking forward to seeing kind of how the Oilers slice this, if they want to try and extend Leo out for 5, 6, and then go 8, or whatever the case might be. It'll be interesting to see how the Oilers slice this one. I just want to sound it off to you to tell me what you're thinking. Friends, sorry, I should have had a cup of water before this episode got underway, but hey, thanks for being aboard here today. Like I said, just again, a couple of lines of thinking here, and then we will be up on out of here.